Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to a video that is going to be about packing tips. It's Thanksgiving is upon us. I'm sure a lot of us have some holiday travels coming up. And so as I was thinking about what I was putting into my bag, I thought it might be helpful to share because my tactic is always to get things in a bag this size or smaller because I don't like checking a bag and just in general, I don't like carrying around a lot of stuff. So I thought I'd walk you through what I'm packing for Thanksgiving and in doing so, kind of tell you my tips and tricks for cutting down on what to bring while not totally limiting yourself in the kinds of looks you can do, especially if it is longer term travel, like more than an overnight trip. I'm going to be gone for 3 or 4 days, and so if I want to play with my look a little bit, you know, I'm giving myself some options to do so. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first, starting with foundation and concealer, I am currently on a kick with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. Mine is in the shade, why can I never find this? Warm Beige L14. And then the concealer I've been loving and using is the Too Faced Born This Way. My shade is light beige here. So I haven't been doing this for the past few years. I don't know if they changed the policy or if they just don't care so much about it, like they know how to spot a foundation, but I have not been putting these in my well-loved 312 bag. I just pop them right into my normal everyday makeup bag so I know where I can find them. And then I only bring one brush because I either like to blend my foundation or my concealer in with my finger, or I will just go ahead and use my foundation brush to do that. And the brush that I like to use is the Real Techniques buffing brush. This is one from their holiday set, but I also have a backup from like the original collection that I bring too, just because it's a super easy brush that kind of does it all when I need it to. Next up would normally be powder, but with the cooler, drier months, I have been using less setting powder. Normally I would pack the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This is the glow version that I love. But like I said, because it's been drier, and I normally just do my under eye area and down the center of my face, but because it's been dry, my foundation and concealer have been blending in really flawlessly, and I haven't needed to set it to help control excess oil and shine. It's just been doing it on its own. So if I can avoid powder, I tend to, just to maintain a really nice, dewy, and natural look on my skin. So I'm not packing that this time, but in warmer months, I typically would. For the powders for the rest of my face, I try and keep them as compact as possible and combining them whenever possible. So this is my blush, bronzer, and highlight in one. My blush and bronzer come in one Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Film Star Bronze and Blush Glow that I think I've taken this traveling with me every single time for the past few months, and it's also been my go-to as an everyday thing when I just don't want to have to think about my bronzer and blush. I grab this and you can see there's a sizable dent in the bronzer right here because I've just been using it so much. The brush that I use with that is the Dailybaileyb Tools 964. I actually use this for both. It's kind of a no-no. You could totally pack 2 brushes if you want to, but after, you know, packing this a few times and packing multiple brushes to use it with, I just found myself double dipping with this guy, and it doesn't get too muddy if you really want to. I have a tool that I sometimes bring with me that I'll show later that you can use to clean it, but honestly, I use this for both. It's the perfect size, and you can kind of pinched in here on the sides. So it's good for getting, you know, that contour slash bronzer area around the perimeter of my face. But then it's also a nice fluff density to where it just packs on that blush color really nicely. So I go ahead and use it for both. The highlighter that I've been into lately for travel, and just in general, but especially for travel, is the Dose of Colors and Desi X Katie collaboration shade Fuego. This is from the original launch, but then they relaunched it with the most recent collection. So I believe you can still get your hands on this. But again, love it for the slim profile. Love it because it's very buildable. You can do kind of a light, subtle highlighter, or you can really build it up. This is one where if I forget a brush, I'm not heartbroken over it because I can either use, once again, that same blush bronzer brush, or I can just go in with my finger and dab it on. But if I were to take a brush, it'd probably be something close to this Smashbox Precise Highlighter brush. I like it because it's nice and dense, so if I really want a pretty, you know, in-your-face highlight, it can really get me there with these densely packed and angled bristles. It's perfect for getting, you know, the area that I really like to highlight here around my eye area, but you can also kind of buff and blend it out across your cheeks or wherever you like to apply your highlight. Onto the eyes, and starting with the brows, I keep it super simple. I just pack a brow pencil. This has been what I've been using for the past few months, and it's the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. I use one of 2 shades, rich brown, and then I think I also recently repurchased the lighter one. It's like light taupe or something. They're pretty interchangeable on me. Depends on whether I'm going for a bolder brow, softer brow, but really I can reach for either or, and so rich brown is the one that I'm packing with me today. Now for the other eye products, it can really go one of 2 ways. If I feel like I'm really not going to want to play around too much with my eye look. I want to keep it super simple, very fast. Then I will go ahead and pack my eye pencils, which I am working on making a video about. So what I am actually going to pack eye pencils for this Thanksgiving trip because I'm wanting to test the last few that I have to test from Collab and from Kiko Milano. So that's what I'm packing with me this round. But otherwise, if I know I'm going to want to play around a little bit, be more adventurous, I will pack my eye primer. This is the CoverGirl Lid Lock Up, one of my favorites. And then a really slim profile palette. Here are some examples of what I would pack. This is the ColourPop I Think I Love You. It's just such a slim profile. It fits perfectly in here right along the side. So I will pack something like that. Or like these Smashbox, these are called Cover Shot palettes. They have a ton of these, a ton of different color palettes and options for you to choose from. But again, just this super simple profile, but you get a ton of variety in shades in the palette. Or I recently was sent this one from Zoeva that when I saw it, I immediately thought, how perfect is this for travel? So I'm still testing it out, but like, how adorable is that? And again, you get a good mix of mattes, metallics, colorful shades, neutral shades, kind of has it all if and when you want to play around. But of course, with an eyeshadow palette, you're gonna have to bring some brushes too. So to keep the number I bring to a minimum, I reach for my double-ended brushes. They're hard to store, not so hard to clean anymore now that I've discovered and have been loving my Cinema Secrets, but they can be kind of awkward, but they are perfect for travel. So most of those that I have are from It Cosmetics. They've certainly withstood the test of time and travel. And so they're what I tend to reach for whenever I go somewhere. And the three that I have today are the All Over Shadow and Crease Brush. Good for exactly what it says. I mean, perfect crease shade, or crease shape. Oh, the words. Crease brush on this end, and then like it said, the All Over Shadow brush. However, it's fluffy enough, it's pinched in so you can pack and buff, but it's also fluffy enough to where sometimes this is the only brush I will use to blend, you know, pack color on and then blend it out throughout my crease. But if we want to get a little more complicated, I love these two as well. The first of which is the All Over and Smudge brush. Again, you have that same all over shape, but then you have a shorter, smaller, more densely packed smudge brush over here that's really great for getting in on the lower lash line or smudging out eyeliner on the upper lash line. And then there is the Smudger liner brush, which is a true liner brush or a brow brush if you prefer to use wax and powder for your brows. And the Smudger brush is great for really packing on a deep dark color into your outer corner to really create an intense smoky eye look. So those are the three I normally take with me. And then if I know I'm going to be getting especially bold with my looks, specifically using more colorful shades, I will also take a brush cleaner, which is just, this is something I picked up from Walgreens. And it's just a little tin with a really light porous sponge inside, and the premise is that you just rub your dry brush in here. It gets all of the excess color off so that you can go into another shade without having to wet and wash and soap down your brushes. No dry time, you can just go straight from shadow to shadow without having to worry about your look getting muddy. For mascara, I have been wearing the Butter London Stroke of Wow Volumizing Mascara like for months now, but I'm currently testing the Maybelline Snapscara, so that's what I'll be taking for Thanksgiving. And as I thought more about it with how my skincare routine typically works when I'm traveling, I think it's going to be a lot easier taking this mascara because it's a tubing mascara. So you're not supposed to need any makeup remover to remove the mascara from your lashes, because you just kind of wet your fingers with warm water, get your lashes wet, and then the mascara like slides off your eyes in the actual tube formation. So I haven't been testing it all that much. We'll see how it works. But I do think, based on previous experience with tubing mascaras, this is probably going to be a really smart move while traveling. That way I don't have to worry about packing eye makeup remover. Sometimes I'll travel and I just won't bother with the remover, and then I'll wake up the next day like shocked when I have, you know, that ring around my eyes. It makes me look exhausted even though I'm just like totally fine, just like leftover makeup all over my eyes, you know? Sometimes I'll take an eyeliner. I kind of go through life phases of lining and not lining my eyes. Right now I'm in one where I'll see my look and I'll be like, you know what I could use? Some eyeliner. So I have been reaching for it lately. If I do, it's one of these two. I have a brown one. This is from Collab. It's their Killer Kohl Self-Sharpening Eye Pencil in the shade Knockout. Or the black one that I have is from Smashbox, identical packaging format in case you missed my underrated drugstore products video. And this is their Always Sharp waterproof kohl liner in the shade Raven. I tend to reach for brown just because it's a little less severe with the looks that I tend to go for, but you know, there's always a time and a place for a black eyeliner, so I pack it just in case. And last are lips. First of all, I always pack a lip conditioner. The one that I've been loving lately is the Lana Lips Lemonade Lip Treatment, and then I'll pack 1 to 2 lip shades. This trip, I don't think I'm gonna go for anything bold, so I'm just sticking to something natural. This is the Nude Sticks Gel Color Lip and Cheek Balm, so I can also use this for my cheeks as well if I wanna change up my blush, but primarily taking it for the lips. And it's in the shade Tay Tay, something pretty nude looking on my skin tone, natural looking on me. But sometimes I will take something a little bit bolder just so I have a little bit more options in my daily makeup routine. But honestly, I don't want to be doing a lot of eating this trip, so I don't want to have to worry about picking a bolder, long-wearing, long-lasting like lip stain situation and or having to reapply something else throughout the day, so I'm keeping it natural this time around. Okay, so while we're on the topic of travel, I figure I have my liquids bag here anyway as I'm packing, so let's go ahead and dive into that too. It's mostly skincare, a little bit of fragrance, so let's just take a peek. Okay, so first let's start with cleanser. Technically I don't pack any. I pack these cleansing cloths, which are totally dry. They are just kind of a fabric that is pre-loaded with a dry cleanser. You add water, you suds it up, you cleanse your face. I love them because you don't have to worry about, packing kind of a cleanser, worrying about it spilling, taking up a lot of space. These are super travel friendly, but they definitely get the job done in terms of making sure I get all of my makeup off my face, which is, I have acne prone skin, and so the number one thing I worry about when I travel, skin-wise anyway, is that I'm gonna break out, not just because of the environmental elements when you travel, but because of not washing my face when I'm out of my normal routine. It's like an excuse not to go through my daily routine, and that's when the breakouts start. So these really help keep me on track and just make sure I get all of my makeup off. And in the recent VIB sale, I bought an eye cream. I hadn't been using one very regularly in the past just because I haven't felt or seen a need for one, but more recently, especially with the drier, cooler fall weather, I've been noticing that my makeup has been laying unevenly over my fine lines here, and so I figured it's time to start hydrating them more regularly. So I picked up the First Aid Beauty Eye Duty Triple Remedy AM Gel Cream. So this is what I will apply in the morning to my eye area, and so far I've noticed that things are laying a lot better around my eye area and it's looking and feeling a little bit less crepey, and so far it is working out for me. Then I have my moisturizers. I'm holding this like I'm gonna talk about it, but I guess let's move on to moisturizers because in order of operation in the morning I will cleanse, apply my eye cream, and then I will go in with my moisturizers. Again, this is not what I would normally pack in warmer weather, but because we are entering cold dry months, or in cold dry months, I have two different moisturizers. The first of which is one I bought from one of Ulta's sales. It's the L'Oreal Revitalift 1.5% pure hyaluronic acid. And that's because most of my, in fact, all of my moisturizers are on the lighter side because I have combo skin. I don't like to add a ton of extra hydration to my skin, but I do need something a little bit more substantial in the fall and winter. So I will take my moisturizer, which is the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel for combo skin, and I will mix these two together, or I'll apply the serum first and the moisturizer later, but honestly, it's come to the point where I just mix them together and apply them together, so it's just faster. And then I always pack an exfoliant when I can, just because it helps manage any breakouts that might pop up while I'm traveling. This is a travel size version of my Drunk Elephant Glycolic Night Serum. I am so close to being out of this, but I keep buying the full size just because that's what I use on a daily basis. But in reality, this that originally got me hooked on the glycolic serum has lasted me so long because I use it like just a teensy little bit every time I travel, but it's coming to an end. So I think this might be its last trip, but love these travel sizes. They are a little bulky, but in terms of travel sizes, they're not super bad. Now onto the miscellaneous items. First up is nail glue. Pretty self-explanatory. I only ever wear press-ons, and for as much as I love them and how long they may last, accidents happen when you're traveling, and so I always like to be prepared with a little bottle. This is one I got from Amazon. It's from Nailene, came in a pack of 2. It's called Ultra Quick Nail Glue. That's kind of it. Then I have a fragrance. In the VIB sale, bought the Tom Ford Ombre Leather, and so I have this little, just one of those tiny little samples in here that I pack because that's too bulky. I don't want to have to worry about it breaking. Yeah, so I just take a travel size of that. And then last up is dry shampoo. This is the Detox Dry Shampoo from Drybar, a travel size version. My favorite is the tinted version of this for brunettes because I feel like it gives my hair a little bit extra fullness at the roots, and this leaves a white cast. Like it a little bit goes a long way, in part because it's that effective at wicking away excess moisture and giving my hair volume, but also if I use too much of it, it looks like I'm graying like a lot already if I don't really rub it into my scalp. So I just find I have to work a little less harder with the brunette version of this, but unfortunately they don't make it in a travel travel size. So this is what I take with me, and because a little goes a long way, I have been traveling with this puppy for a couple months at this point now. So highly recommend it if you, like me, try to extend your hairstyle for as long as possible while still keep making sure it looks fresh. And that is it. Everything that I am packing for my upcoming holiday travels. I hope it was helpful if you were just curious, you're looking to pack some things yourself, if you were looking for some tips to kind of minimize what you're bringing but still not like kill all the fun out of playing with makeup while you're on the road. I really hope this video was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!